I'm going to read his bio out. So Dan is the Chief Product Officer for Squadify, and I can say it's a great product. I want to say that
True
there.
so far.
As a passionate advocate of building high-performing teams with a background in healthcare and consulting, Dan has dedicated his career to helping teams connect, build psychological safety and solve complex problems. I can't read, that's all.
If only there was somebody in the room that could help with presenting.
Through Squadify, he empowers teams to demystify teamwork and achieve measurable improvements in performance, inspiring extraordinary results. And as I say, I think it's great. So I'm going to pass over to Dan now.
Thank you, Roy.
Please give Dan a massively warm welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so this is what we're talking about today. And of course, I'm alluding to the famous 2 pizza rule of Jeff Bezos. Now, I think we're slowly learning not to listen to what billionaires say. So I thought we would challenge this question with a little idea. This is obviously, the idea is that you should have a team that could share 2 pizzas. I know people who can eat 2 pizzas, so it doesn't really give us that much sense. But to start exploring this, I'm actually going to look, shock horror, for 6 volunteers. Does anyone have a drink that they could bring up here? Don't worry, you don't have to do very much, and you can keep your clothes on. But that'll be perfect. Anyone who has a drink could come up and toast Christmas with me, please. I'm looking for 6 people. Oh, perfect. 6 people. We have 3 keen volunteers here. If you can come and stand over here. 2 more. So if you can stand over here. Oh, this is brilliant. Okay, how are we doing? All right. So this is very shaky on my 10 minutes front. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 5? That's 5. Okay. Someone else joining. Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, brilliant. This is excellent. All right. So this is excellent. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Legend. Big round of applause for these volunteers. All right. First of all, to celebrate Christmas, just gather around and do a nice cheers in the middle there. Just a nice cheers. All right. Perfect. While we sort out the thing. Okay, well done. Now what I'd like you to do is work out, if you cheers each person individually, see how many clinks are there. Maybe you can do it by experiment. Just count them out. See if you can. Do you know how many clinks it would take for 6 people? Counting them. Yeah, so it's tricky to count, isn't it? It's got factorial. Full marks for someone who mentioned. Yes, exactly. Brilliant. So it's complex. You can see even with 6 people, it's quite tricky to figure out. But I'm going to give you the answer in a minute. Thank you to the 6 people for doing a brilliant job. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well done. Thanks for jumping in at the last minute. Okay, so here's the answer. A little bit of maths for everyone. So for 3 people, it's 3. Well, 2 people, it's 1, right? For 3 people, it's 3 clinks. 12 people, 6 people we just had there. 15 clinks around the table there. I couldn't even bother to do all the lines on the one for 12 people here, which is 66. I had the joy of working with a team recently of 23 people, a senior executive team, 23 people. That's 253 individual connections. And this is the formula. So it sort of boils down from all those factorials and things. So you can work this out for your team. Number of connections is the number of team members times the number of team members minus 1 over 2. So all of that works down there. A lot of connections. Why am I talking about this and spending about 5 minutes of my time on it? Because we have to ask ourselves, what is a team? It is very simple. It's 3 things. It just has to be more than 1 person. You have to have a clear and shared goal. Spoiler alert, that's not just the same as adding up your own individual goals, okay? But the third one I really want to talk about is this one. It's interdependence in achieving it. So you have to actually work together to get there. And this is where numbers of people makes this really hard. So in that team of even 12 people, you've got 15 relationships to nurture. And think about the team leader in that team of 23, 22 one-on-ones to conduct. So it's where interdependence starts to struggle when you've got big teams. But there's another thing that's really interesting. Maximilian Ringelmann, I mean, what a name, honestly. What a name, first of all. In a way, that's all I wanted to say today, was someone once existed with that name. Discovered this in 1913, did some experiments with people doing tug of war. One person gives 100% effort, they've got to do their best. 2 people, they're giving 93% of that effort each. So as soon as someone else joins you, you just, I'll give a bit less effort. Add a third person, they're giving 85% of the effort each. This is science. Those 3 people, if you do the maths, they're basically only pulling the same as 2.5 people. So it starts to have a diminishing diminishing return, basically. This is called the Ringelmann effect, and it exists in large groups. So in large groups, you can slack off a little bit. It's also called social loafing. So you can literally, in a large group, you sort of sit in the background, we all know who you are, and you can sit in the background and not pull your weight, literally. So that Ringelmann thing is about pulling your weight. So what does the science say? If we look at all the research, Ringelmann himself, Maximilian Ringelmann, by the way, says 7 is your maximum. Don't have a team bigger than 7. Putnam and Ware said 3 to 5. Hackman, who's a great Harvard sort of academic, said, sort of intriguingly, 4.6. And I think we all know who this is as well, don't we? We've worked with that person. But yeah, his method sort of was all about averages. But yeah, Hackman says 4.6. But you get the message, these are smallish numbers. So we should be really in the 4 to 6 area for teamwork. The 2 things I'll just mention are, we want people in the team. We want teams. We want large numbers of people in teams, because then we get diversity of thought. That's what it's about. Bring diversity together so you can solve unsolved problems. But what this is saying is keep those numbers down, and it's also aligned with what local legend Matthew Skelton talks about in team topologies, because by having smaller teams, you're more likely to have a team that can act without too many dependencies. So this is the way to go. But we've got some new research from Squadify that I wanted to share with you. What is Squadify? Yeah, we ask everyone in a team how their teamwork is going for them. We report it back to them and recommend maybe one thing they can do to improve it. And they do that continuously. So it's sort of the team sits on Squadify effectively. So we have data on thousands of teams, including performance data. So what does that tell us? So this is our chart showing team size along here from 3, actually. I think 2, 3. There we go, minimum size. 3. He finally got there. He spent 2 minutes deciding which one it was. Up to 16, which is where we set the goal, set the maximum against performance. That line has a small gradient of 2%. So for every elf that Santa adds to a present-making team, he's losing 2% of performance. And that applies to every elf in this room. So keep your team small. Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without a present, so I have a little gift for you. I'm offering everyone here a team elf check. I thank you. We're here all week, well, for another 2 minutes anyway. So if you'd like that, find my post from today on LinkedIn. It's got a picture of a loaf of bread for social loafing, and just put the word pudding in there and I'll get in touch with you and I'll give you a team health check. It'll take just half an hour. Nice and easy. That's me done. Thank you very much for listening.